pretty bored right now, so I'm going to do a 2024-2025 season review now that it's been a couple months for Manchester United's disastrous year. What I'm going to do here is go through all of these names and give them a letter grade and a should they stay indicator of some sort. Look, 15th in the league, an absolute tragic, calamitous loss in the Europa League final, embarrassing season. At this point, I've seen basically every United game for the last 15 years, like more than that, really. And I hated this team. And it's set the state. Anyone who's like optimistic going into this next season, to me, is delusional. I like the Cunha signing, and right now this is, July 9th. There are a lot of heavy Mbeumo rumors. Mbumo is probably how it's pronounced, I've been told, but every time I've seen him play, he's amazing. I'd love to have the guy, but let's be honest, he isn't going to fix these problems. Ederson from Inter, whoever, none of these guys are going to fix these problems because they're all, even if they turn out to be great, the team is so shit. But let's just start out. Erik ten Hag obviously started the season, won the FA Cup final, which in hindsight, was it worth it? Because we ended up keeping the guy? I don't know. Disaster. If I had to give him a grade, it would be an F. And he lost the dressing room in the end too. Just zero inspiration. Also, dug his own grave, kept Diallo completely out of the lineup, and then the first thing Amorim does is start using the guy, and we can actually see we have a decent player in the team. Ten Hag is a moron. He's an idiot. And I genuinely, I don't know, I don't want to get stuck up on that. I'm going to move a little faster than that. So we bring in Amorim, looks great. The vibes are a little bit positive coming from Sporting, right? He's just beaten Manchester City in the Champions League. And everyone's thinking, maybe this is finally the guy that turns it around. Now, unfortunately, he does play a strict system, and he's flexible, tactically, I do think. He mixes up how the wingbacks are used, mixes up how the 10s are used. But at the end of the day, it was a disastrous season from him. Some of these games are completely lifeless, and it's not all his fault. The players are awful. But this system certainly did not suit the players. I personally do want to give him a pass, but he's on the fence. If this season starts off poorly and we have to go through the same cycle of keeping a manager and over the summer and then firing them mid-season, and then you bring in a new manager and they don't have the players for their system, it can't go on. So I do like the Cunha signing in that I think he's a versatile player, and a lot of the names they're looking at are players who I think would fit in multiple systems, so I'm happy about that in a sense. I don't know if this guy's going to make it. I hope he does make it, because I do like him quite a lot. But if I had to give him a rating, it would be an F for that season. And if I had to say keep or get rid, I would say keep. I'm willing to give the guy a chance. I'm willing to give the guy another chance because, you know what? I don't think they're going to bring someone else in who can fix these problems. Bayindir. Didn't play that much when he did. I thought he was awful. I'm actually going to give him a D ranking. And I would say sell. Not good. Sell him. Just send him on a flight anywhere else. Back to Turkey. Whoever wants him. Andre Onana, F. Obviously, Onana sucks as a goalie. And I've been saying that since I first started seeing, before the full fan base turned on. I'm he's so bad at stopping shots. I understand he stops them, but as a huge De Gea fan who makes brilliant saves and doesn't put the ball straight back into play, this guy's terrible. And the distribution just has been the most wild disappointment. He can't do anything right. He's the worst goalie I've personally ever seen for Manchester United. And yeah, sell to anyone. I know it's not going to happen. We're going to end up keeping the guy, but Jesus Christ. Victor Lindelof, I'll give him a C. Didn't feature that much. Ended up playing quite a bit due to injuries, especially towards the tail end. And, you know, obviously he's gone. But, I don't know. I don't really have too many negative things to say about Lindelof other than that he's one of the worst center backs ever to play for Manchester United and gets bullied off the ball by everyone and wasn't cut out for the Premier League. Anyway, Mazraoui. I thought he had a disappointing season. Now it's tough because he looked great as just strictly a right back under Ten Hag. Even to start this season, I thought we saw like he's got game. He can play. He's a footballer. Unfortunately, and you know I don't want to criticize the guy too much because I do want to keep. He's a keep for me, but I thought he had an awful season. Actually, I'm going to give it a C, but I do want to keep him because I think he's a real player. Dorgu started out disastrously to me. I didn't like the signing when it happened. I will say he does have some good qualities. The number one thing that I like about him is ability to carry the ball. He can't move laterally, but if you can move that ball straight forward. He's young. Maybe there's a way forward with this guy. I don't think he had a great season. I am going to give him a C. People are going to think that's harsh. You got to keep the guy. All the guys who were signed last season, I'm giving them this season too. But he's not exactly a player that I'm like, wow, this guy's genuinely class, and they spent $20 million on the guy. So keep, but you know, not a guarantee. Licha, I mean, look, I don't really want to give him a grade because I'm not going to grade him. I'm just going to give it an X. The team looks better with him in it. When he did play this season, he was actually kind of bad, like suspect defensively, but his ability on the ball, passing-wise, he adds a lot to the team in terms of build-up and play, and also just personality. He's a winner, and I respect him. And I hope that he comes back stronger than ever. I'm very sad that we lost a lot of him due to injuries, and things might look a little differently if they hadn't been gone. So I'm going to call it a C, actually, and keep. Harry Maguire, I have utmost respect for him, how he turned his career around at United. I think that that's brilliant, and he deserves some praise for that. Did he have an amazing season? Not really, but he played a lot due to these injuries, and I thought he was okay. I'm actually going to lean towards a B- for Harry Maguire, which makes him so far my player of the season in this list. And I am going to say keep. Some people would say sell. We had the chances to sell. He probably should have just gone over to West Ham when that deal was on the table, but look, it didn't happen. Let's keep him around for a couple more years because we need the depth. And he's English, and there aren't that many Englishmen in this team. And I think that he's earned it. In my opinion, he's actually earned it. Plus, he scored some incredible... Now that I'm thinking about it, some of the goals he scored, including that goal against Lyon, forget it, man. That's a B+. That's a B+ for Maguire. He... Good for him, man. Good for him. I'm happy for him. De Ligt, okay. I've never been the biggest fan of this guy, and it's mainly been about injury. He's very injury prone, and we saw that a bit this season. Missed some crucial games for United. Crucial games. When he did play, I think he's good. I don't think he's great on the ball, but I think he's solid, and I think any team would be happy to have him. I like him. I didn't think he had a great season. I'm going to give it a B-, and it's a definite keep for me, especially given the talent we have in this team. Leny Yoro, there's a lot to be positive about. Obviously, he had the injuries. That sucks. We missed a lot of him. But he's class. Like, he can pass. He's big. He's decently fast. He's not that fast, but he's decently fast. He doesn't use his weight well. He doesn't use his height well aerially. There's so little to be hopeful about in this team. I have so much hope for Yoro. For me, it's a B on the season, and it's a definite keep. Dalot. Okay. Dalot had a shit season, and I respect him tremendously for playing a lot of games. It was a very unfortunate injury towards the end of the season. He was played out of position a lot by Ten Hag and a lot by Amorim. Neither of these things are his fault because of just the lack of depth and the injuries, some of these periods of injuries we had. I can't say he had a good season, though. He's very frequently suspect defensively. He did score some very timely and nice goals this season. I am going to give it a B-, but it's a definite keep. He's, to me, you keep him. Luke Shaw, it's an F. It's an F and it's a sell. I am so disappointed by this man. The injuries, obviously, but even when he did play, he was woeful. He should not have come back when he did. Disaster. Aiden Heaven, I personally love the guy. I got so depressed when I thought that, because he looked so distraught when he had that big injury, and I was like, man, this guy's brought a lot of physicality and a lot of confidence and hope. He brought hope. Great signing off of Arsenal, gave him minutes in this side, and we're so bad that he deserves to be playing. I'm just very happy with the guy. And actually, I'm going to give him a solid B. I'm giving B+. I'm giving B+, because I know the expectations for, like, Euro are completely different, and Euro had a better season objectively, but he just... Nah, I just gotta give him a B. Johnny Evans didn't feature as much this year, had a lot of injuries. It's a C, but I love the man. Big respect. Harry Mask didn't play all that much either. When he did, I thought, I don't mind that he's tenacious, even though he's small, and he can, like... I think he does offer something attractive to this United team. It wasn't a great season for him personally, in my opinion, when we did what we did see of him. He's very young. I'm going to give it a B-. And I think you keep him. I think you keep him. Fredrickson, from what little we saw of him, I liked him. I don't think I got enough of a sense to really have a fully formed opinion either way on the guy. But I don't know. Just give it just B. Kind of like a no grade, actually. But a no grade. But you keep him. See what else he has. Or maybe you get him a good loan. I think you get him a good loan. Actually, you do. That's what you do. Loan. Mason Mount, injured basically the whole season, did have some moments, but overall is ineffective in a passenger in games. I did not understand the signing at the time. Ten Hag disaster class. 60 million for someone who is completely surplus to requirements and on 1 year left on a deal at Chelsea ends up being injured for that entire season. So we paid, 60 million for someone we could have gotten for... I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I think he's not a very good player. It's a D. It's a D for me, and also I'm sorry. I would want to sell him. I know he's English, and they're going to keep him, and no one wants to buy the guy, and you couldn't get any money back for him. He's going to stay, but it didn't make sense. Maybe Emery finds more of a use for him, but for me, I'm disappointed. Bruno, it's an A. It's an A. He dragged the team through, and I thought he put in some amazing captain performances. He works harder than any other player. He's better than any other player. He's a better midfielder. He's a better winger. He's a better center forward. He's a better 10. He's a better 8. He's the best 6. I think he should be considered a United legend for what he has done with the club. He's even managed to win a couple trophies despite the fact that we're so bad, and we are nothing without this man. He's the captain, and he's my favorite player on the team. Christian Eriksen, it's a C. He didn't really have too much to contribute. Obviously, he's gone. It is what it is. Casemiro came back. Amorim kind of found a way to use him, and it worked out towards the end. Ultimately, I still think it was disappointing, but because he has had a bit of a redemption arc, and I would never question the guy's commitment or, he's a winner, and he's won everything. I have a lot of respect for Casemiro. I think you would keep, because of the state of this team, I do think you have to keep him. Ugarte, another one where I didn't like the signing. Saw him play in a game against the USA in the summer before we signed him, and I thought he was awful. And then we signed him, and you kind of like him just because he's got a bit of grit to him, but man, disappointing season for me. Thought he was really bad, and also he did have his injuries too. It's a C. C-. And I actually would want to sell him. Manu, obviously, he had a bad season. I'm going to call it a C. He had his injuries as well. Who didn't in this team? But when he did play, he's completely out of place in the Amorim system, which is a worry. There have been rumors about selling him. I don't think you sell him. I think first of all, he's an English player in a team that needs English players, and homegrown. But to add on to that, he has so much attacking ability, the close control, dribbling in tight spaces, passing in tight spaces, and timely goals. I think that you should be finding a place for him in this team, and I think that you keep him. And I hope that next season we see a way better Mainu, and I'm actually optimistic we will. Collier did not make as many appearances as I would have hoped he could have made. Obviously, yet again, he had a big injury. But he's big. We need some size. It's a keep it simple type of player. He actually reminds me of McTominay a lot, but I think he might potentially be more of have more of a passing range. I like him. I haven't seen enough of him. The injury's tough, but I'm just going to give him a B- and say you keep him. And I think you keep it rather than loan. Højlund, it's an F. I don't really even want to harp on it. He's the worst center forward I've ever seen play for Manchester United. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen play for Manchester United. And even though he did have that good run in his first season with Ten Hag, where he was scoring he scored for 7 straight games or something crazy like that. He doesn't have it. I don't believe that he will turn it around, and I hope he proves me wrong, because I think we're going to end up keeping him, and at this moment in time, the strikers we've been connected to are, not going to come to United or aren't good enough. So, for me, you sell this guy. I don't want to see him ever play for United again, all due respect, and I do like the guy. I think he's hilarious. He seems like a really kind and cool dude, but I also haven't really enjoyed the banter on social media after wins when you're playing so badly. Win some games, score some goals. Joshua Zirkzee started the season. At the start of the season, I almost felt that I was better than him because of how unspeakably bad he was. He couldn't even control the ball, but then he started to demonstrate second half under Amorim, some of the silky dribbling, some of the hold-up play, some of the physicality, and you start to see, okay, he's an unusual player, maybe that there could be a place for him in a team. I don't think he's going to be very good. I don't think he's going to be a world beater. But he did earn, considering I would have wanted to give him an F at some point during the season, I think you can settle on a C. All of the qualities we're talking about with this guy, if you're a center forward playing for Manchester United, if you're a 10 playing for Manchester United, if you're a winger playing for Manchester United, you need to score goals. He needs to score more goals. That's really what it is. And I actually do think you should sell the guy. You know what? That's harsh. Because of what last season was, I'm actually going to say you keep him. He deserves a second chance, and he deserves a chance to prove himself. Diallo, amazing, unfortunate injury also. One of the few bright sparks, the tenacity on defense and the ability to close down other opposing wingers has led to goals. He is tremendously skilled dribbling. He keeps the ball so tight on his feet, which is actually a little bit Messi-like in some instances. I think there's more room for improvement too. And he's also kind of versatile. You can play him in this wing-back role. You can play him as a 10. I think as a traditional winger he works. I also think that he's probably a better center forward than, even at his size, than Rasmus Højlund. I think you gotta give him an A. And it's a keep. Garnacho does a lot of complaining online. And for a player who's played so many games this season and has been a part of almost every game, starting or as a sub, he's so directly responsible for so much of the bad performances, including poor defending. He has the worst conversion rate on shots to goals in, I think, Europe, let alone the Premier League. Selfish player. He's not an intelligent player. His attitude to me is not good, even though he runs. He's just not a dynamic player, and I don't think he's going to cut it at the top level. I really hope that he does get sold. And I'm sorry, I'm just not a Garnacho fan, and I think he had a bad season. I'll call it a C-, and I'm gonna say you sell him. And the quotes are £70 million for him or something. 50 would be totally fine to me. Get him out. Obi, didn't see a lot of him. He's kind of was sort of uninspiring, but he's like 17 and got tossed into some tough situations. Like at one point, I think he got subbed on against Liverpool, like, and we had no one. You can't be relying on this kid. He should be loaned out. I don't know. You just gotta call it a B and say you keep. I want him loaned, is what I want. And these are the loanees. Sancho. Chelsea fans don't seem that hype on him. He had a couple good performances, obviously, but I mean, it's an F, and it's a sell. We'll probably end up having to loan him out. No one's going to buy him. Antony, tremendous. A season. Good for him. I'm genuinely feel he's one of those guys who, like, he's not going to be a Premier League star. Obviously, he was terrible in his time at United, but, like, he tried hard, and I respect that. And I also respect that he did leave and wants to leave and go play, as opposed to Sancho, who just wants the paycheck. All the reports say Antony would take a pay cut to go leave, to go to Betis or to Leverkusen or wherever he's going to end up. I respect him. I mean, obviously I sell him, but I respect the guy, and I wish him the best of success in his career. Malacia, it's an F. I know he didn't even do all that much abroad. It's a sell. Who knows what's going on with this guy. And then Marcus Rashford, one of my favorite United players ever. He's currently sitting like 12th on the all-time Manchester United scoring list. Is probably the single reason why Ten Hag wasn't fired earlier in his first season, which is worth thinking about. Like, he found a way, despite not really being, in my opinion, an amazing player, to perform amazingly on a number of times, and has been one of the few bright spots throughout this decade of miserable performances for Manchester United, for miserable seasons. The sulking, the body language, horrible. The social media stuff, the seeing him in an Aston Villa shirt, the fact that Cunha now has his number 10 shirt, going out and drinking and then getting put in the doghouse, the fact that Amorim didn't think he was working hard, I kind of believe it. Like, I think he might just be kind of an emotional guy and sensitive guy, and I think that he might also, because, I don't know, maybe have been a bit deluded about his ability. I love Rashford, and it's going to be an F, even for his time at Villa. But look, let me tell you something. I think you should keep him. And I know that is a controversial statement. But the reason I'm saying, look, he should be sold. If you can find a buyer, you should sell him. But this is why I'm saying you should keep him. I don't think we find a buyer. You can't loan out all of these players. We don't have the depth. And I'm looking at the center forward situation, and I'm thinking, how can we go into the season with Rasmus Højlund at center forward when you can potentially have Marcus Rashford there instead, if we're not going to be making a signing, if we don't have the funds to make a signing? We've had, like, Vardy linked to us, even in Callum Wilson has been linked. Watkins is not going to come to Manchester United this year. I think you keep Marcus Rashford and you give him a different shirt, because he doesn't deserve the 10 shirt. But, like, who's gonna buy him? He's on outrageous wages. Villa just didn't pay the 40 for him. If he cares about going to the World Cup, which I think he genuinely does, then he needs to leave. Or he needs to play. I just think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Rashford situation develops. There are plenty of other locations in the Premier League that would make a lot of sense for him. I just don't want to do the whole loaning thing. That pisses me off. Forest, I think, would be a great fit for him. Like an ideal fit for him, especially now with Alonga going. I just don't want him to go, even though he deserves to go. And the relationship is soured not only with the club, it's soured probably with the manager, probably with the players. I bet not with the players don't give a shit. But it's soured with the club and with the fans. Um, anyway, that's my review. It's been a horrible season, and I'm so far incredibly disappointed with this transfer window. And I think that if I had to predict where we finish next season, it would probably be around 14th, unless more signings are made. And maybe I'll do a upcoming review thing in the future.